First of all, I want to say thank you, God. I gotta start off by saying that all the time. Just because it's just as bad things are. I just realized that my life could have been like these perps that are partaking in this program. Somebody just came out of the apartment in my neighbors. I live in this apartment place, and there's a lot of childish men and women, or there's children, and actually children, and there's childish men and women, and they're clowns. You see, the name of this video is called "She's Ripe." These clowns are so retarded. And I'm sorry for using the term retarded. I should use perhaps a term that's less insultive in the sense of because there's mentally handicapped individuals, but these people are not mentally handicapped. Their job asks them to be this trash and these retards. And for me, it's just, I have no problem putting that in their faces. The things they put together to try to make you accept of this false narrative is magical. It's magical. It's disturbingly retarded. I don't know what other term I can use. But I put that in their face. They don't get to see each other. Target individual, first of all, just be strong. Understand that these perps have one goal is to do negative things to you. Reality is not a factor. Matter of fact, a lot of perps around me are just far from doing good in life. Some of them have psychological issues. Some of them have other issues. Some of them just live off this. Some of them are just immature retards. And they act certain ways to try to. And I'm so thankful because this person who said that could most likely be an adult, a grown man. And I'm just thankful as a adult conscious man I didn't live life like this. Humiliating reality. I know right now they just try to minimize the fact that the shit they do it will come back to them. It's okay. A lot of these preps are nobodies. In my case, it is the case. What you're seeing here is what I see behind when I see in next to my door. I'm not even gonna say where. They tell me they're gonna frame me using these children here. They even forcing me to give like perception of these childlike individuals there with almost no chest to make me see her in a sexual way. It is disturbing. And so this is how bad it gets where they even are about to sacrifice their own kids in that fashion. Look at that. It's pathetic. Look at this childlike. And they really make this child believe that she's some kind of hero for doing what she's doing. And then this what's happening to my brain. At the end of the day, I know what is happening to me. I'm a target individual. These clowns around you that agitate you, that provokes you, their job is simple. They are working for governmental entities which have clear issue with pedophilia. But this technology that they utilize onto us target individuals as we're the test subjects is meant to be able to control our mind and control our body. My body is being destroyed. One thing they say is I'm rotten, right? Matter of fact, it's funny. They say, "Oh, you're rotten pedo," right? And I'm going to get back to this. But the entities behind this, we'll talk about the Department of Defense, is the DoD. They're utilizing these retards of human beings around you to implement these tactics. They use clowns. For me, they know when I see them, they're the trash and the low life. And humiliating reality. That's what I see them at. That's why I make these videos and hope that they can hear me. I mean, it gets so bad that even when I'm in a train station, I press play and listen to testimonials of the issues, like what's happening in the Department of Defense and those DoD computers where they keep finding child porn at a high level, a high volume of child porn. Matter of fact, with me, they tell me they're gonna dare to implant child porn. Now, as they do that, as they're saying they do that, or as they're gonna do that, they try to create this like mystiqueness about implanting child porn. Basically saying that we're gonna implant images or videos of children getting raped. into one of your devices. It's so nasty. And you hear these childlike individuals try to make that cool or badass. Some trash, some losery of a human being that get lost in this. I have no problem dragging this low life into a different hell. Target individual, that's why you have to be thankful. Imagine you had to live life like this low life. Now, with me, what's happening today is they force me to have nasty reaction toward children, right? And then they try to find ways to make me accepting of it. At this point, target individual, please understand your brain is for them to manipulate however they want you to experience. A lot of us target individual deal with these manipulations are pedophilia centric. That's what they do. And then they have people around you try to gaslight you into accepting these manipulations. They do that to me, toward the little kids to the older kids. Matter of fact, not too long ago, there was a hand or arm of a baby, of a child. And they start giving me stimulations. And with me, what they do when they make me have these experiences, like, no, I remember what you did as a child, and this and that. I was like, no, I'm a grown man. And you're forcing me to have these experiences. And when I was a child, I didn't get this experience. You're disgusting trash while you're working for governmental entities filled with pedophiles. Now, when it comes to teenagers, they also try to find ways to make me accepting of it. The reason why I have this title called She's Ripe is because they're trying to change the wordage to mean something else. When I was a young adult, late teen, early 20s, I used to have a best friend, right? Let's say this best friend is called you, right? Me and you, definitely typical bros, right? We used to try to get laid and things like that, typical young adult activities. Live life just wanting to get laid, right? Very mature but typical young adult. That was before the woke time where young adults were young adults. Just kind of bro-ish kind of state of mind. And so we used to have like these conversations when we talk. Oh, well, you see, this guy would let's just say you was talking to a girl. It's like, hey, she's probably ripe now. She's ready to go. Like we use this terminology, ripe, in a meaning and just the maturity of a young adult. As when you're talking to somebody, right, whoever you're talking to, when she gets to the point where she's wanting to go to the next step, which is turning things into something sexual, we will say, oh, she's ripe. Just like when the fruits, you take care of the fruit, and the fruits get to the point where it is ripe, it's because it get to that point. So we apply this very bro-ish type of lingo to describe somebody we've been talking to that is getting to the point where she's ready to have sex. Very immature young adult, bro-ish conversation. Now, this is how they try to flip this up. Now they try to flip it off as if it's about age. As if I was like, hey, she's ripe, as in like she's the right age. Instead of like and I'm sorry to say that, she's ready to go. They're nasty. And matter of fact, what they do is like they try to put in different storylines. So there's this joke. Mind you, this is me and my best friend who used to insult each other with anything. I heard something in high school. To roast my friend, I brought that joke up. Which I remember hearing that in the cafeteria when I was in high school as a junior. So they try to morph things like, no, but you see that joke, you see, and they start make themselves laugh, I was like, you're a bunch of retards. And the reason why they're doing that is because they're gonna frame you with these kids. And there's a grown man that opened the door and see that's a ripe porn. Meaning that, and when you say ripe, it means like something underage. Like children porn. So you understand the lingo he used. But he said that to try to make it look like, oh, no, we're doing that because we have proof. No, these people are so disgusting. And that's why I have to be thankful. This is an adult man who's trying to find a way to implant child porn, child gay rapes in my devices by coming up with the falsified stories they put together about me and my friends saying ripe to put it in the sense of ages. So when he talks about implanting children being raped on my computer or my phone, he says, you see, that's because of that. There's a trash in the hallway that start making noise campaign. These people have followed low life and they will get there. So of course I've seen it happen in my own eyes before I got to that point. It is so nasty. And they're like, oh, we're so sorry. First of all, you see how sad these pathetic people are. Second of all, this program is literally torturing children. These people are in a system, in a program that harm kids in sexual ways. And they're so sorry. They're saying that because they try to act like they're avenging somebody. What you're saying here is a woman whose vagina is being burned using this weapon system. They are torturing children and women in a very disturbing ways. So with me, as they try to act, oh, we're gonna do it to avenge. We're gonna implant child porn. We're gonna implant children getting raped in your computers because we're avenging. I say, oh, we're so sorry because I'd say sorry to some woman that I was with or something. Not even in something at a party and this and that. And I talked to her, by the way. She's living her best life. I was like, oh yeah, he said sorry to her, so now he's avenging. Like, no, 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 no. These people are involved in a program that's destroying the life of so many women. Matter of fact, I purposely started talking to this woman after 11, 12, I don't know, years ago. Say, hey, how's life? And she's like, oh, life is great. How are you? I remember you. It's been so long. He's like, yeah, yeah. Now, say, yeah, I'm living my best life with my family. The reason why I do that is because this trash who talk about in playing child porn, talk about making, putting videos in my computers, in my devices of children getting raped. One is pretending doing it for avenging. For example, Brady. That's the woman I'm saying. When right now, what you're saying here, it's a woman who today who's getting her vagina burned, but as a child was raped. You're gonna hear a little bit of it. And what you're seeing, the people that are sitting there, those are supposed to be the woke, like fierce, avenging. Unfortunately, I don't have the guy around here because this is some sad, pathetic low life. It might even be the brother of these people that you see over there. You see in that little hole of what you're seeing there? This is who they're pretending. Well, apparently they're gonna also frame me by making it look like I raped this kid. See how sad it is. Look at this retard of a child. I don't even want to call a child a retard. You know she's not gonna make it too long. Do you think this kid's gonna make it to 30 years old normal? Obviously not. Well, they come up with storylines. Oh, you're right. I see you're right. You see, and to flip it up in this way. Matter of fact, as I'm saying that to try to like make me feel nervous, they have this retards create theatric noise campaign in the hallways to create this version of ripe, which they created to be an age thing, versus she's ready to go, she's ready to have sex. And in my memories, they're actually changing things. Like, no, no, and they give me stimulation. That's so weird, confusing me. And I'm sure they're gonna continuously play with my memories to change it up and erase the reality of it and just put it the version they want about age. But in fact, they will make me think, oh, but hey, you were with this girl who's 3 years younger than me. I was what? Stupidity. It's like, yeah, I see that. That's the right. It's like you're a retard. But the way I didn't even know she was 3 years younger until like she told me later on. Stupidity. And I was telling that to my friends, and it was like a lingo thing of us just talking about somebody who's willing to get to the point of having sex. Yes, it was very mature, very bro-ish, but that's what some young 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 years old will have as conversation. But it's just flipping it in their version. For no shame. Because today they're framing me in this way and they're manipulating me in this way. the point where they say they're going to implant child porn, implanting children getting raped. Let me I want to describe what they're saying. And they're going to watch me get raped. So nasty. These people deserve death and they know that. The things they do to us is very easy. It is not complicated. You have to be accepted to be compromised, in which that part is not that hard. Like self-esteem really here is not something that's big. And you can tell who is more into it based on how low self-esteem they have. Because if you respect yourself, would you be like, oh, she's right, huh? Like, you're such a clown. This is a man saying that. Oh, a male. Then they bring up this child trash that they used to frame me. Oh, she's right. She's 18. I was like, I don't give a fuck what the fuck she's. Just don't bring this trash around me. When you frame me, let's get to see each other there. But if I see this child like try to approach me and pretend like we're an item, and I'm talking about these kids, oh, it's not gonna be good for her. They want to stay in character as they work for governmental entities which issue child porn, targeting video. When they mean she's ripe, they talk about an age. And the reason why they say this is because when I was a young adult or so, in my late teen, early 20s, me and my friends used to say, oh, she's ripe. In the sense of, oh, she's ready to get to the point where she wants to have sex. Or she's ready to go to the next step of sex. And they use these clowns here to try to make you accepting of this. They've come to all of us. They tell me how they blow my organs. They're like, I'd rather have my organs blown than live my life like you. This is such a dignified death. Could live a sad trash life like them. Try to come up with ways to paint this false reality. So my target visual stay strong.
Has come under investigation for links to the proliferation of graphic material. Called Project Flicker, some 5,000 individuals have been identified as having subscriptions to child porn sites, including many DoD-affiliated persons. So this ongoing national investigation has now prompted the House to introduce a bipartisan bill that would help the DoD stop the use of its network to, quote, possess, procure, or produce child pornography. Joining us to discuss this, investigative journalist Ben Swan. So Ben, the Pentagon already takes measures to limit worker access to stuff like porn by rolling out what they call the Personal Electronic Device PED policy, where workers have to drop off their phones and lockers before entering their offices. All their online searches are accessible by security if or when needed. Their Wi-Fi access is monitored in digital security sweeps. So how is this happening?
Well, it's happening because even though there is a certain amount of limitation on access, those who are working in the Department of Defense, clearly it appears to be thousands of individuals in the Department of Defense, are finding ways around this, specifically by using the Department of Defense IP addresses and also apparently peer-to-peer sharing within the department's network. So this study that was done on this issue, and it is pretty horrifying, Manila, to consider this. It shows that the Department of Defense ranked 19th out of almost 3,000 networks in terms of peer-to-peer sharing of child pornography. That is absolutely incredible. This bill attempts to essentially say, look, we're
worked for the Defense Department. She worked on the global mapping of that system. And when I told her what I was going through, all she could say was, "You're on your own." Well, I figured that out. If you would please, I urge you to pass this. I realize you can't enforce it, but if you would pass it, it might give other communities the courage to do the same thing and show our Defense Department we are not the enemy. We are not to be attacked. We are not terrorists. Most of us are defenseless women.
Okay, thank you.
Good.
Basically, I just want to speak out and let everyone know a situation that's been ongoing for quite some time, since October of last year, that I've noticed. I am a targeted individual that is dealing with voice to skull. Basically, I just want to speak out and let everyone know a situation that's been ongoing for quite some time, since October of last year, that I've noticed. I am a targeted individual that is dealing with voice to skull. This is not another Myron May video. I'm not going to commit suicide. I want to speak out about being a targeted individual and what we can do to stop this sick crime that's going on in America today. That's a silent crime, and I feel like we need to step out. The more people that speak out about it, and the more people that have their voices heard, and the more people that don't give up and support each other, we're going to be able to be strong and make it through it. I've met some really amazing people that has helped me along in this struggle and this fight. As far as being a targeted individual, it's not easy. I've lost friends. I lost my job. I lost a relationship. I've lost a lot of things. I have the good days and the bad days. My phone is hacked. This is a crime. It's a silent crime. I had no idea what this was until last year.
Today I'm actually dealing with something that's like, it's different than the burning the private parts of my body. It feels like somebody is trying to literally like cut the inside of my body, of my vagina, and I'm bleeding, and it's like bright red blood, and it's extremely painful. And I've talked to 2 people about it today. I've kind of talked to a couple of other people about it a little bit. I'm looking at myself in the camera is helping, but I'm having bad PTSD. Just that mostly means that, well, I guess it's not regular PTSD because the back of my neck is being vibrated on and it's making my hands numb, feet numb, and my whole body shake. And I revert to like some mentality of like a 4 or 5-year-old. I don't think it's PTSD, but I don't know what else to call it exactly. I just feel vibrations on my head, and my voice and my thoughts aren't like a person my age when this happens to me. But I just feel afraid. And I don't know what to do, and I wish this would stop happening to me, and I wish that I was allowed to have help and be okay, and I don't think anyone's really allowed to help me, or they get into trouble. And that was true, and I was little too. I'm just not coping very good. I don't feel like everything is alright. I shouldn't have to go through the same things as I did when I was little. I sent the Department of Justice a cease and desist and told them that they're acting in coercion with the entities and people that child sex trafficked me. And then I wondered if I wanted to, if it was safe, or if I was having bad psychology to send it. Like, because it made me feel like I was putting myself in more danger. But I just felt like I had to send it, and maybe I think there's someone good on the other side of the letter that would say, oh, this is bad, or I don't know. I'm afraid maybe that's not true, and it's just gonna get me killed. It's hard to tell the system that they do bad things, because it always wants to believe that it's good. It wants to believe that I'm shaking, that I'm bad and the system is good. And the system has raped me and done bad things to me so that it could say that I'm bad. And it's good. Like, if something really bad happens to me, it means more really bad things will have to happen so that the system can say it's my fault. Because the system has to be good and believe that it's good. And so that means I have to be bad if it does something bad to me. Disabled. Pray for me, please.